This in particular is a connection that you can use for as a hold down for tension forces. Is the fact that the tolerances of the concrete walls are not exactly the same as the tolerances that you have on your CLT structure. And as you can see here, you can use full nailing or partial nailing depending on how big your force, your shear force is. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm Matteo Andreottola. I'm a structural engineer. I worked for a few years as a structural engineer for a local company which produces and designs CLT structures. And currently I'm working for Rothoblaas as a technical consultant. Let's have a look at the lesson of today. Today we're going to talk about innovative connections for CLT structures. And let's have a look at the index so that we have a rough idea at what we're going to see in the lesson of today. We're going to start off with some innovative angle brackets, which are the ones that are most commonly used right now for CLT structures. And then we're going to move on to the base connection for the CLT structures, which is the Alustart. This is a very nice innovative product. And to finish off, we're going to have a look at other couple of products, the slot for shear connections of CLT panels, and the spider and pillar. Now, let's finish with the talking, and let's move on with the presentation. And usually these very tall buildings, they have, as I said before, the main issue are the connections, really, because you have these really high forces, these really big forces, especially on the ground levels. You have big forces, and therefore you need as well some big connectors to withstand those forces. In the pictures here, you can see some of the connectors that were used in the tallest building, the tallest CLT structure in Italy, which is in Rovereto, and it has nine stories. And as you can see, it wasn't possible to use standard connections for these ones in particulars. They needed to use this customized steel plates, for example. And of course, this kind of plates are very expensive. They're not certified, so we're gonna see some of the connections that are available on the market and are already certified, and hopefully we'll manage to understand how to use them as well. So let's start with the modern angle brackets. Angle brackets have been on the market for a long time, for many years. But as time passed and as CLT structure became more and more popular, as well, those plates became more engineered. They developed as well. So let's have a look at what we achieved through some through the years. So this is like a standard connections, and as I was saying before, this in particular is a connection that you can use for as a hold down for tension forces, and you can use the same connection as a shear connection for the walls, for example. And we're gonna see how that's better. This one in particular, it has 5 millimeters diameter holes, and therefore you can use nails or screws depending on which one you prefer to use, first of all, and depending on the resistance that you want to achieve. The resistance that you get with these connectors is roughly 46 kilonewton is the timber resistance for shear, and 68 kilonewton the characteristic tension resistance of the panel. And in particular, it's interesting that just by adding this steel plate here, which is called a washer in this case, by adding this one into here, you are able to use this one, the same connector as a hold down to withstand the tension forces onto the ground level. So of course the connector has an eccentricity, and therefore it tends to rotate, and it tends to fail. The steel tends to bend up and fail. And therefore, by adding this reinforcement, this base reinforcement, it's possible to increase a lot the resistance of this connector, for example. And of course, you can use the same one, exactly the same one, to withstand the shear forces. So as we were saying before, the ductility of the connection is very important, because as you all know, timber is a very strong material. It's very lightweight and very the resistance is very high. The only issue that we have with timber structures is that timber is a fragile material. So when it fails without yielding or bending too much. When the failure occurs, it just snaps completely, like if you're snapping a branch, a wood branch in the forest. And of course, we need this ductility of the connections when we are designing, a structure which is in an area where the seismic action is quite strong, because by displacing the connection, like we can see in the image there, a lot of forces goes in here, and it makes your structure was as a ductile structure, which is very important. So let's start talking about the connection starting from the ground. And I have two examples right here of ancient timber structures which came to our days without being destroyed, without being damaged by the rain or the humidity. And that's because once upon a time the people were, of course, very intelligent in constructions. They know how the material behaved, and they were trying to achieve the best things out of every single material. And in this case scenario, for example, you can see that the base of the structure is done with stones, and just the upper part is done with a timber structure. And as you can see, all the timber structure is completely covered by the roof, and the durability of the structure increases a lot. So that was just an example to highlight that it's very important to design in the right way the connection to the ground. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this other part of the lesson. So water and humidity is the worst enemy of your timber structure, and especially in the ground connection is where you have to be the most careful, of course, because you have the water that tries to go up the structure, because of the capillarity, and as you have as well the water from rain, which is trying to get into the structure. So a very common detail that you can see in CLT structure is this this concrete wall that you have on the ground. This is very cheap and works very well. In fact, you can see it. It's very common. You can see it in many structures. And the common rule that we have when we are designing these details here is that the finished floor level of your structure, of your building, should be lower than the dimension where the CLT wall is starting. So the only issue that we have usually with these little concrete walls is the fact that the tolerances of the concrete walls are not exactly the same as the tolerances that you have on your CLT structure. You use CNC machineries to cut your CLT panels, and you just pour on site the concrete wall, and therefore sometimes you have big issues because they are not perfectly aligned, and that's a big issue for connections, and also sometimes for the resistance of the wall, which is not bearing completely on the concrete wall. So an improvement is this product here. This is called Alustart, for example, and it's an aluminum extrusion with some small holes on the side, right here for nails, for the shear forces, and bigger holes here, which are needed to attach this extruded plate to the concrete that you have on the bottom. You can see a better image of the product right here, and as you can see here, you can use full nailing or partial nailing depending on how big your shear force is.